Zachary's plasma torch sputtered and died as he stared in disbelief at the intricate web of alien circuitry hidden deep within the Ithorian ship's engine. The technology was leagues beyond anything he'd seen in his years as a mechanic at this remote repair facility on the fringes of human space. Excitement and fear battled within him as the implications raced through his mind. This tech could catapult humanity forward centuries in space travel capabilities, but in the wrong hands, it could also become a devastating weapon, upsetting the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. "Carter, why isn't that ship fixed yet?" Zachary's supervisor barked over the comms, jolting him back to the present. "Sir, I found something in here you need to see. Some kind of advanced alien tech the Ithorians were hiding." "Well, keep it quiet and just finish the job. Last thing we need is them squawking to corporate about us snooping in their ships." But Zachary couldn't let this discovery go. Over the next few days, he snuck time on the Ithorian vessel, feverishly trying to unlock the secrets of the strange devices woven into its systems. If he could just figure out how they worked, the knowledge could help protect humanity from more advanced alien threats. His covert studies were interrupted by the harsh blare of proximity alarms. An Ithorian warship had dropped out of hyperspace and was descending on the facility. Zachary watched a squad of hulking reptilian soldiers storm down the landing ramp, led by a massive specimen he recognized as Commander Talon. The Ithorians were an aggressive, warlike race who saw humans' rapid expansion as a threat to their empire. Talon had an especially bitter history with humans. This did not bode well. "You have stolen our technology, hairless apes," Talon growled, shoving his scaly snout in the face of the human supervisor. "Return it at once, or we shall take it by force." Zachary's heart hammered in his chest. He needed more time to safely extract the tech from the ship. If handled improperly, it could cause a cascading failure that would vaporize the station and everyone on it. He stepped forward, trying to keep his voice steady. "Commander Talon, I'm still removing your technology from our maintenance systems. I need a little longer to complete the transfer safely. Any attempt to forcefully seize the ship before then could be catastrophic for us all." Talon narrowed his yellow-slitted eyes. "You delay only to steal our secrets for your own kind. I will not let humanity gain an advantage over the Ithorian Empire." With a sharp gesture, Talon ordered his soldiers forward to seize the ship. The human security team rushed to intercept them. Shouts filled the hangar as both sides drew weapons. Zachary found himself trapped between the two factions on the brink of a bloody shootout. He knew the Ithorians couldn't be allowed to reclaim their tech, both for the station's safety and to keep it out of their hands. But he also realized simply handing such advanced technology over to human authorities might be just as reckless. Powerful factions within humanity's fractured government would seek to weaponize it for their own agendas, potentially inciting a devastating war with the Ithorians. As the standoff intensified around him, Zachary's mind raced through options. He needed to find a way to return the technology without it falling into the wrong hands on either side. And a desperate plan began to take shape. If he could just buy a little more time, he could finish extracting the tech while covertly copying its schematics and functioning. Then turn over the originals to Talon, while secretly keeping the copies to study. The knowledge could give humanity a much-needed edge to defend against the Ithorians' aggression while avoiding open war. It was a dangerous gamble. Discovery could mean imprisonment or worse from his own people. And if the Ithorians even suspected the theft, they would tear the station apart. The mysterious technology also presented its own risks. In his frantic studies, Zachary uncovered clues hinting at the existence of something called the Forge, some kind of massive construction facility the Ithorians used to build these advanced devices. If he could find it, the knowledge gained might allow humanity to rapidly close the gap with the Ithorians. But he also found disturbing references to the technology's origin and the cataclysmic event that had befallen its creators. Continuing down this path could unleash something beyond both humans and Ithorians' ability to control. With soldiers on the brink of firing all around him, alarms blaring, Zachary had to make a choice. The ramifications of his next actions could alter the course of human and Ithorian relations forever, and change the balance of power in the galaxy itself. The stakes had never been higher, and the clock was ticking. Zachary raced against time as the tense standoff played out beyond the repair bay doors. Fingers flying across his datapad, he worked feverishly to crack the encryption on the alien technology files. He had to unravel the secrets this advanced tech held while appearing to comply with Talon's demands. Come on, Zachary muttered, sweat beading his brow. The clamor of raised voices and weapons being primed echoed from outside. He was walking a razor's edge and the clock was ticking. With a final keystroke, the encryption cracked, and the secrets of the Ithorian tech flooded Zachary's screen. His eyes widened as he scanned the schematics and data logs, quickly realizing the magnitude of his discovery. This propulsion system made current human and even known Ithorian drives look Neolithic. Ships equipped with this technology could cross the galaxy in a fraction of the time. It would give whoever controlled it an almost insurmountable strategic advantage. Zachary quickly uploaded a copy of the files to his personal device and wiped any trace of the transfer. No sooner had he finished hiding away the copied data, the bay doors exploded inward. Ithorian soldiers poured in, weapons drawn, as human security shouted for them to stand down. The tension shattered like glass as both sides opened fire. The air erupted with the sizzle of blaster fire and the shattering of equipment. "Carter, give us the components now!" Talon roared over the chaos, his yellow eyes fixing on Zachary. Heart pounding, Zachary snatched up the alien tech components. There was no more time. He had to hand them over to stop further bloodshed. Holding the components aloft, he stepped cautiously through the fray. "I have your technology right here. Call off your soldiers before this escalates beyond control," Zachary shouted, locking eyes with Talon. For a heart-stopping moment, Talon appraised Zachary coldly, as if weighing the option of simply cutting him and all the humans down. Then, with a curt hand signal, he ordered his troops to cease fire. Zachary tossed him the components, which Talon snatched out of the air. "This isn't over, ape," Talon growled before turning on his heel and marching out, his soldiers falling in formation behind him. Within moments, their ship had blasted away from the facility, leaving an eerie silence in its wake. Zachary slumped against a scarred bulkhead, his breaths coming in ragged gasps. He appeared to still be in one piece, but the true repercussions of what had just transpired were only beginning. The alien files copied to his personal device felt like a lead weight in his pocket. He barely registered the shouting of the facility's security chief until a rough hand shook his shoulder. "Carter, what the hell happened here? The brass is going to want answers, and you better have them." Over the next several hours, Zachary endured a harsh interrogation by human security and intelligence personnel. They knew Ithorians weren't prone to rash action. For them to attack so blatantly meant the tech on that ship held immense value. Zachary feigned ignorance, insisting he had returned all the components and that the Ithorians had overreacted, praying his questioners couldn't detect his half-truths. He was playing a dangerous game, dancing between the suspicions of his own people and the threat of Ithorian retribution. When they finally left him alone, locking him in a holding room for his own safety, Zachary slumped into a chair, his head swimming. Steeling himself, he slipped out his personal device and accessed the forbidden alien files. As he delved deeper into the labyrinthine data, he discovered snippets of code that stood out, coordinates that pointed to some unknown location deep in uncharted space. The more he analyzed them, the more he became convinced they held the key to the origin of the Ithorians' mysterious advances. But the secrets buried in those coordinates paled in comparison to the realization that if he tried to pursue this alone, he'd be flying blind into an abyss of interstellar intrigue he was woefully unprepared for. With a racing heart, Zachary stashed away the data files and pulled up the encrypted comm channel. His fingers hovered over the keypad for a long moment before he input the contact. The channel beeped twice before clicking open. "Zach, what's going on? I'm seeing reports of a major incident out at your facility." "Ari, I think I'm in trouble. I need your help." Zachary's hands shook as he punched in the encrypted comm code. The familiar voice of his old friend Ari Kenton crackled through the speaker. "Zach, what the hell is going on? I've been trying to reach you for hours." "Ari, I need your help. Can you meet me at the old mining outpost on Deimos? It's not safe to talk over comms." A pause. "I'll be there in 2 hours. This better be good, Carter." The derelict mining facility loomed before Zachary as he touched down on Deimos's rocky surface. Ari's sleek military-grade shuttle was already there. Zachary found his friend waiting inside, arms crossed. "All right, Zach, spill it. What mess have you gotten yourself into this time?" Zachary pulled out his data pad and laid out everything. The Ithorian tech, the mysterious coordinates, the facility attack. Ari's eyes widened as he scanned through the files. "This is big, Zach. Really big. I've got some contacts in intelligence who can analyze this discreetly, but we need to be careful. If this tech is as advanced as you say..." The deafening roar of ships entering atmosphere cut him off. Through the viewing port, they saw a squad of heavily armed mercenaries pouring out of a stealth dropship. "Shit! They found us!" Zachary scrambled for his blaster. Ari shoved him towards the back exit. "Go! I'll hold them off. Get that data somewhere safe." Plasma bolts sizzled past as Zachary sprinted for cover. He heard Ari returning fire, buying him precious seconds. A strangled cry rang out. Ari was hit. Zachary turned back, conflicted, but Ari waved him off. "Run, you idiot!" As Zachary fled, he caught a snippet of comm chatter from the mercenaries. "Not Ithorian. Third party wants the human alive." His blood ran cold. Who else was after this tech? Zachary spent the next days dodging patrols, calling in every favor he had. He needed to disappear, fast. An old smuggler contact, Jax Venn, agreed to meet him. "You've stepped in it this time, Carter," Jax drawled. "But I might have a solution. Got a hauler headed out to those coordinates of yours. Risky, though. Lot of ships gone missing out that way lately." Before Zachary could reply, the far wall exploded inward. The same mercenary team from before stormed in, guns blazing. "Come on!" Jax yanked Zachary towards the docks. They sprinted through a hail of gunfire, diving behind crates as shots pinged off metal all around them. Jax cursed. "They hit the hauler. We need a new ride." Zachary spotted a small exploration vessel. "That one, help me hotwire it." They fought their way to the ship, Jax laying down cover fire as Zachary worked frantically to override the locks. With a hiss, the hatch opened. They piled in just as security forces joined the fray. "Hang on." Zachary gunned the engines. The ship lurched upward, clipping a docking arm as they blasted out of the port. Alarms blared as they hit open space. Multiple contacts appeared on the radar, mercenary pursuit ships, and Ithorian scout vessels closing fast from the outer system. Jax strapped into the co-pilot seat. "Where to, boss?" Zachary punched in the mysterious coordinates. "To find some answers, and hope we don't get killed in the process." The stars blurred as they rocketed towards the unknown, hunters closing in from all sides. The stolen ship lurched violently as Zachary punched the thrusters to maximum, rocketing them out of the launch corridor. Jax gripped the co-pilot seat, his nucleus tightening. Behind them, the docking bay erupted in a storm of debris and fire as mercenary ships opened fire. "Cutting it close there, Carter!" Jax shouted over the roar of the engines. Zachary's eyes darted between the nav console and the rear sensors. "We're not out of this yet. Plot a course to these coordinates." As Jax input the mysterious location from Zachary's stolen data, warning lights flashed across the ship's systems. Zachary swore under his breath. "What's wrong?" Jax asked. "This bucket's been hacked to hell and back. Half the long-range systems are fried or missing. We'll be lucky if we make it out of the system." They plunged into a dense corridor of civilian traffic, adrenaline pumping as they weaved between massive cargo haulers. Zachary pushed the rickety ship to its limits, using the larger vessels as cover. "Patrol ship at 2 o'clock, Jax warned. Zachary banked hard, tucking their small craft into the wake of a lumbering freighter. They held their breath as the patrol cruiser's sensors swept past. Just as they thought they'd given their pursuers the slip, A harsh light bathed their cockpit. An Ithorian warship loomed ahead, its comms crackling to life. Unidentified vessel, power down and prepare to be boarded. Zachary locked eyes with Jax. You'd better hold on to something. His fingers flew across the nav computer, overriding safety protocols. The ship shuddered as an unstable wormhole ripped open before them. They plunged in, the very fabric of space twisting around their hull. Alarms blared as the ship buckled under immense gravitational forces. Rivets popped from panels, sparks showered from consoles. For endless seconds, it seemed the vessel would be torn apart. Then, with a final violent lurch, they emerged. Eerie silence fell as the main power cut out, emergency lights casting a red glow over the cockpit. We're dead in the water, Jax muttered, checking systems. Thrusters are shot, life support's on backup. We've got maybe 6 hours of air left. As the reality of their situation sank in, something massive drifted into view beyond the cockpit. An enormous derelict ship, easily dwarfing anything in known space. Its hull bore intricate markings unlike any human or Ithorian craft. Is that? Jax whispered. A shipwright vessel, Zachary breathed. I thought they were just legends. With no other options, they guided their crippled ship toward the ancient derelict. As they approached a docking port, static crackled over their comms. An otherworldly voice spoke, sending chills down their spines. Welcome, wayward travelers. You have found the Ark of the Shipwrights. Enter and learn of our fate. The docking clamps engaged with a shudder. Zachary and Jax exchanged uneasy glances as they donned emergency suits and cycled the airlock. They stepped into corridors of gleaming metal, untarnished by millennia adrift in space. A holographic figure materialized before them, a being of pure light and geometry. I am the custodian, the last remnant of those you call shipwrights. Our civilization fell to hubris and folly. Heed my warning. As the AI relayed its chilling tale, Zachary's mind raced. The technology surrounding them was beyond anything humanity or the Ithorians had dreamed of, if they could unlock its secrets. But the ship's systems resisted their efforts. Encrypted interfaces and incompatible tech thwarted every attempt to access the shipwright's knowledge. We're out of time, Jax said, checking his suit's air supply. Those mercs can't be far behind. Zachary nodded grimly. We need to risk activating something. Maybe we can call for help, or at least get this hulk moving. They began frantically interfacing with dormant consoles, trying to coax the ancient machinery to life. Suddenly, a deep thrum resonated through the ship. Lights flickered to life as long dormant systems surged with power. But something was wrong. Alarms blared as the ship began to shake. The custodian's avatar flickered wildly. You have triggered the Ark's self-destruct protocols. Flee while you still can. Zachary snatched a data crystal from a nearby console, praying it held some fragment of shipwright knowledge. They sprinted for an escape pod as the massive vessel began to tear itself apart around them. As their tiny craft blasted free of the disintegrating Ark, Zachary glimpsed strange, ominous shapes stirring to life amidst the destruction. Whatever they'd awakened, he feared it was far beyond their ability to control. The escape pod lurched violently as it hurtled away from the destabilizing shipwright derelict. Zachary's eyes widened in horror as he watched through the viewport. The ancient vessel's hull rippled and contorted, alien machinery bursting forth from its depths. What the hell is that? Jax shouted, gripping his seat. Before their eyes, the derelict elongated, twisting into a colossal angular spire that dwarfed anything Zachary had ever seen. Impossible geometries unfolded, powered by technology beyond human comprehension. A proximity alert blared. The mercenary pursuit ships that had been dogging them suddenly broke formation, engines flaring as they fled at maximum burn. Even they're running scared, Zachary muttered. A blinding beam of energy lanced out from the shipwright relic. It struck one of the fleeing mercenary craft dead center. In an instant, the ship's hull ruptured, metal and flesh alike reduced to subatomic particles. The beam's focused power obliterated everything in its path. Zachary's hands flew over the pod's controls as the other pursuit vessels performed desperate evasive jumps to escape the same fate. Warning indicators lit up across his display. An ominous wavefront expanded outward from the transformed shipwright vessel, consuming entire star systems as it propagated at impossible speeds. Zach! Jax's face had gone pale. We've triggered something. This could destroy everything. He reached for the comm panel, but a piercing alien signal overwhelmed all frequencies. The sound drove ice picks into Zachary's skull. As the signal intensified, the pod's systems began to fail. Life support indicators flashed red. Navigation went dark. Through the viewport, Zachary watched helplessly as sectors of space were rendered to cosmic void, swallowed by the expanding wavefront. The shipwright mechanism pulsed with impossible energy, stars winking out as it consumed their mass to feed its resonance banks. A hiss of escaping atmosphere filled the pod. Jax clawed at his throat, eyes bulging as the vacuum claimed him. Fighting against fading consciousness, Zachary realized the horror they'd unleashed. The shipwright weapon was priming to fire, targeting the galactic core. His fingers trembling, he accessed the alien tech's firing controls. Zachary had one chance to stop this. Gritting his teeth against the searing pain of his body cooking from within, he locked the beam on a collision course with the shipwright apparatus itself. As darkness crowded the edges of his vision, Zachary saw the firing matrices flare to blinding intensity. The beam lashed out, striking the alien mechanism with unimaginable force. In that final moment before oblivion claimed him, Zachary Carter bore witness to devastation on a cosmic scale, and the desperate hope that his sacrifice might save countless billions.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.